Fala galera, bem-vindos a mais um Sonoridades. Estamos andando aqui na rua hoje. Hoje o episódio é com Marko Hietala. Tu não chama Hietala, mas é Hietala. Nós falamos na ocasião da vinda dele para o Brasil com a Tária. A gente falou de várias coisas, disco novo, disco solo dele que foi um alento para as pessoas durante a pandemia, um pouquinho do que ele passou no Nightwish, as partes boas, o retorno da parceria com a Tária. E, obviamente a gente falou dos problemas que ele teve, né, com o TDAH. E também inteligência artificial. Não podemos esquecer da participação dele do Masked Singer. Confira, tá divertido, curta, comente, compartilhe. Faça chegar a quem tem que chegar. And obviously this is not the first time here in Brazil, but we're gonna play with Tária after 18 years. So how are going to be this reconnection with the public and with Tária on Brazil?
Well, of course, have to remember that we actually met in Finland already a few years back on the Christmas tour.
Yeah.
And at that point of time, we already had like a time to talk a little bit of the things and actually talk about that, all this hassle that was there in the past. It actually, you miss something there that you realize only after a good while. It's shit thing to lose a friend. And of course, after that, things were okay with us. And now that we found out that we were playing at that Swiss festival, Tária actually contacted me, asked me if we could do Phantom of the Opera. Well, what the hell? Why not? Since, I left the whole thing, the whole business and everything behind me because I really got sick and I had to go and find out and get the therapists to find what was wrong with me, which I'm very glad to say that they actually did some very serious finding. And it seems to me that for all my life, I've been feeling a little bit different from the others. Maybe that's why I ended up in this business. So I got an ADHD. I suppose it's okay to have that if you're at the front of the stage. I went off on a tangent. That happens to me because, I got an ADHD. So I left because of the side effects and the symptoms and the depression and worthlessness that brings when you feel like you cannot connect with everyone or anyone. And I left the whole thing, but it got solved. And with the therapist's help and with some right meds, finally, the things turned around pretty fast and I started to feel better and I started to reconnect with things and I started doing a little bit of shows. And we found out that we were both playing in this festival in Switzerland and Tária contacted me. So there we go. That's how it kind of happened. So now I'm back in business, and then that show leads to the fact that we come over to do shows together and touring together after 18 years. And it feels good. And because of a lot of ways, it was nice to reconnect. And I mean, of course, some people might see this as the divide that should have been kept, but I don't really think so. As Tária herself said, the last time we did anything together was 18 years ago. I mean, people grow up from babies into grown-up adults legally in that time. We change. I think things are way more serene these days. It's going to be good to do shows together. Yeah.
And what can you spoil about your set list here in Brazil?
To be honest, since I'm in the kind of a guest and support situation, I haven't checked this kind of a thing from the top. So I'll keep you in suspense.
Okay. Is there any possibility of we have your songs from Synergy, maybe?
Oh, fuck. That never crossed my mind. But it's going to be way too late to rehearse that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, with the Synergy, I think it needs quite a lot of rehearsing from the guitar players. It's badass stuff. You know who played.
And also, while you're getting back to recovery, we have your solo album from 2018, and then people are going to release some videos, and people are kind of rediscovering your solo album, and people are getting in touch, and people are really, really loving this solo album.
Nice. I have to say I appreciate it because, well, I lost my faith kind of in the whole thing, and the best ones are back. The enjoyment of actually producing music yourself, whether playing, singing, or recording, that is back. Business side I still hate, but yeah. So there are going to be things happening, and there is a new solo album in the works, which we were planning to get out of this spring also, but it seems to have we were having some trouble with the. Well, this is kind of a bureaucratic company hassle and all that, and also the thing that we really went close or even broke some deadlines, I have to admit. So we have to change the plans, and right now they're in a little bit of a flux, and in a few days I'm off for the tour. So I'm preparing for the tour for now, and then when I'm there, I have time to sit on a plane and check out some emails and make decisions.
She told me I'd have stones in my shoes. With stones in my mouth, I kept singing the blues. My suit was torn in the emptiness of outer space. I float forever between a rock and a hard place. Stones falling from the sky, more stones rolling from the ground, more stones traveling the stars, more stones.
And how were these recordings of your new solo projects?
Sorry, how?
Were the recordings of your new album?
Recordings are done. The mixings are done, and we got the first masters and everything in our hands. So basically the music is ready. And I think no matter how well we have to plan now how we do the release and everything, I can still say that much, that this album is it probably hits that same term I coined, that hard prog with the first one, but this is maybe not so. This is hard. Yeah, definitely hard.
Really love it.
Okay, we'll see.
Okay. And since you're retired from music, we have the end of COVID, we have the pandemic, and a lot of people kind of asked me to ask you this, because Islander was one of the songs that kept them in a safe place, kept them well, and kept them, how can I say that, in good terms with themselves during the pandemic. So how do you see this, the power of your music?
I see that as a really great thing, because I of course recognize the power of music, and like every atom in our body has an electron or bunch of them rolling around. They got frequency and vibration. And music is frequencies and vibration transmitted by those same atoms through air into our bodies. And
this is for long forgotten, light at the end of the world, horizon crying, the tears he left behind long ago. The albatross is flying, making him daydream. Time before he became one of the worlds unseen. Princess in the tower, children in the fields. Life gave him it all, and now I know the universe. Now his love's a memory, ghost in the fog. Sets the sails from last and saying farewell to the world. Anchor to the water, see it far below. Rustling his feet and a smile beneath his brow. This is for long forgotten, light at the end of the world.
music is healing, definitely. And there is this weird scientific fact that they discovered lately. It seems that when the sound waves travel, they tilt upwards against the gravity. They're anti-gravitational. They are, even in the physical world, actually uplifting.
Yeah.
So here's some scientific hippie for you.
That's true. That's true. And Marco, nowadays we have the artificial intelligence that are creating music, writing music, and even creating videos. So how do you see these technology? Do you think you will use it, or how do you see the approach of this technology by the music?
Well, you're always gonna need a connection. To humans are social, tribal creatures who like to go to shows, and they've tried to do the hologram shows. Doesn't really seem to take. You don't get the vibe without the live guys. So in that way, I see that the AI can, of course, like make huge differences in how you record things, and especially afterwards and everything. But still, humans need humans to some extent, always.
And in the other hand, we have the vinyl and the cassettes that are growing on the market. We have the first time
That's true.
vinyls went more so than the CD. So how do you see this conflict?
Well, yeah, it was something that I couldn't really foresee, but in the end, it is recognizable why it happens, because I do recognize the difference between the analog and digital sound very much. And depending on the album, you can hear some real warmth and depth, how the recording has been made and how it reacts in the space that you're listening to. And you don't really get it from like digital recordings from 4.1. It's still has its own amount of digital jitter as distortion and disturbance, and then it just doesn't have the upper ringing or lower depth and pound which can which can reflect nicely, yeah, from the speakers to the walls and wherever you're listening to.
Yeah.
And the obvious, like, organic difference, yeah, it's obvious, at least to me. Of course, I have to say, but those people say that I don't hear any difference between MP3 and a CD or a vinyl. Those people are probably right. But I mean, well, I should wear glasses. You get some. And everyone has it different. Some have it from birth. Some develop different sight issues later on. Some stay healthy. Why would we expect our other senses to be different? Of course, that some people hear better and some don't.
Yeah, that's a good point of view. I really enjoy your point of view. It's a great point of view.
Sorry,
this is a great point of view. I really appreciate your opinion. It's
okay. Yeah, that's true. So,
a great point.
Anyways, I said that it would be worth to try listening like a full spectrum sound, because not a lot of people, especially the youth, get to that point anyways in their normal lives, and it might be totally different if you hear the depth for real. Yeah, because it's physical. It feels goddamn good.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you participated on Masked Singer. You were the winner of Masked Singer.
Yeah, the Finnish version. That was a fun stuff to do. I mean, totally out of the box. And well, I get a recognizable sound. Of course, there were a shitload of people who immediately knew who the doctor was when the vocal started. But yeah, none of the judges have really been in, like, Finnish metal scene that much that they would recognize me just by the voice. Yeah, so it was fun. And then with the choreographer, it was a fun thing when we were talking about, like, let's do something totally anti-metal. Do you know how some sensual ballet moves and whatnot? And then she, yeah, let's do it this year. And then I did, and she was surprised. Oh, that actually looked elegant. God damn it!
And the songs that you
yeah, they were thrown off, especially doing it with the Elton John song. They immediately connected me to Rainbow People.
It was awesome. It was awesome. We have a Brazilian version here of Masked Singer too.
Yeah,
and it's
I know, the international format.
Yeah, and it's incredible. And also another thing that I consider the most important, besides Nightwish and your solo career, is your participation in a lot of bands. I mean, we recorded with Aiden, with on Theory or Everything of Aiden. It's a great album. I love Aiden, and I thought it was the first singer to record Theory or Everything. Is correct?
Sorry, first singer to
record with him. I mean, the Theory or Everything. Is correct?
Theory of Everything. God damn it! Yeah. Of course. Well, that was a fun experience. I mean, I had been listening to his work already before because, well, I like prog, and I like old school heavy metal and hard rock and all that. So he's got all of that in the albums, besides also nice pop songs. And anyway, and I respect his vision as a musician, who really does what he likes in the way that he can make it work. And that is not mainstream. And he's made it successful enough to live on it and respect. So I went for the album with enthusiasm. It was really good to have a role. And some of the vocal stuff that I got to do there was really nice.
And then you play live with them in 2017, I think. How was the experience to bring it live?
I actually took quite a lot of pleasure of that, because at the point of time in 2017, I was already in a very, very bad place. And it was reflecting in everything I was doing or capable of doing. And so it was good to go somewhere where totally different, with a festive mood, with a lot of artists and all that. It rubbed off on me. Yeah. And it was helpful at the time.
And I think it was one of the most beautiful participations, because I saw this concert, and have a lot of singers that I really love it, and I saw it
Okay.
and said, "Wow, this is how it should sound live."
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and there are a lot of musicians, all the violinists and everything. I was really like, oh yeah, this is a production.
Yeah. And since we talk about the production, do you think you can sing on Broadway, something like that?
I could if they asked me. I'm too lazy to offer myself.
Okay. And
Broadway, yeah, Phantom of the Opera. I know it already. Old enough almost to be close to.
Yeah, yeah. And release a song with Exit Eden also. That's released.
Yeah, they had that album in the works for a while. I think I did the vocal track already, like at least year and a half back, or maybe even more, maybe 2 years back. And it took a while for them to get the whole production into works and get this plan for the stuff to come out. But then, yeah, last fall, I was driving a car with my friend and a dog from Finland to Spain, and we drove by Netherlands and stayed a couple of days there, and I joined the ladies and the crew for the video.
And the video is really cool.
Yeah, it was fun to do. I mean, nicely mystical, nicely open. Doesn't really try to tell a story. It just reminds me a little bit of the circle of existence that Roland of Deschênes suffers in Dark Tower. If you've read the books, I'm sure there's some people who listen and see this.
Yeah, books.
But in a very minuscule scale compared to King's 7-book series. But
yeah, and books nowadays is something that people are not getting engaged. Are all in
probably
deep.
not. Hey, but is it true that I'm always going overtime?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So these other questions about your time with Nightwish, not by the bad parts, but for the good parts. The lessons that you learn on the road for your career, and what advice you should do for someone who wants to start a band and maybe get well success.
Oh man. Well, one of the obvious things, of course, with Nightwish being in question is the strength of Thomas's songwriting. I mean, that's the one consistent line that kept the band growing big, and it kept it up. That's the one thing that was there from the beginning until the end. So, yeah, you cannot go out there and just start to perform stuff without substance. You gotta have that. Of course, it doesn't have to be as, how would I say, as fancy in like arrangement wise and everything. I mean, I was a kid in the 70s. I love punk rock too, still. So very simple stuff can be very effective, but you just gotta put it together with the right elements and right attitudes. And if you manage to be friends, like really proper friends with your bandmates, then the personal chemistry will boost the vibe.
Yeah, I totally agree with your advice.
So those are the things, kind of in a nutshell, which I've learned. That be sure that your songs have substance and take care of your mates.
Yeah.
Unless they suck at playing, that's the sorry thing. Then you need to switch them usually. Record companies don't look nicely upon weak links.
Yeah, totally agree with you. And my last question is about if this Marko version, the Marko of today, have to do an advice to the young Marko, what should be, and what should the young Marko told to the old Marko?
Well, the old Marko would probably tell young Marko that you're going to last a good while. It's not so serious. Relax. And what the young Marko could tell the old Marko is that, oh, thanks for keeping the inner kid alive.
There was looking for